G-Rock Rising, our featured band, our featured guests today. Happy to have them with us. Stephanie White and the New Jersey Philth Harmonic. I have to say, one of my favorite names so far, coming across with all the featured bands and artists. And of course, I'm Erin Vogt. The debut full-length album that you can pick up pretty much anywhere that you buy your music these days. iTunes, CD Baby, through your website. I'm sure at a live show, which is always good too, which we'll get to. Knee Deep Insanity. So to start things out, you're going to be doing acoustic songs for us here, the stripped down version for G-Rock Rising, but you guys have a very distinctive live sound. The full effect of the New Jersey Philth Harmonic is something that you don't get every time you go out to see a concert. If you want to just explain to us the usual makeup of the band at its height, I guess.
Well, we're a six-piece, vocals, Robbie does drums, he'll be playing guitar for you today.
Versatile.
Yeah, we have...
he plays everything. And we have...
And at our smallest, we're six pieces. And we have a keyboardist who plays French horn. We have a saxophone player who occasionally plays flute when he feels like it. A guitarist and a bassist. And like she said, she sings and I play drums. And
then we have guest performers. Pat Smith sometimes
trumpet
comes
player.
and plays trumpet with us.
We like to keep it big.
Big and
excess is best.
And exciting. It's a great sound. I mean, even if you go to the website, which you can go to for all the information, the albums, everything we're talking about, lots of live shows coming up, and the best website for everybody to reach you at is the MySpace.
MySpace.com/Philth Harmonic.
PHILTH.
There you go.
HARMONIC.
You'll see it right there. It's not as confusing as it sounds.
It's really not.
But how do you get something like that together? I mean, I know a lot of, in talking to bands and talking to, no matter what size it normally is, whether it's a three-piece or, say, a six-piece, the communication factor and the networking factor is just a constant presence of mind. So the idea of the featured performers or even just that initial six-piece, how do you wind up finding each other, basically? And do you all know what you're looking to do? And
I'm going to let Robbie take this question.
Develop that way.
Well, we're a six-piece because I was in a ska band before this, and I'm used to having just like a horn section and everything. I always wanted a keyboard player, so now I have one. I have my same saxophone player from my last band. I have my same bass player, and
the two of them are like right
yeah,
there.
I mean,
they've been playing together long enough that it would be weird not to.
About 8 or 9 years now.
Oh wow!
So
it's been longer than that.
We grew up playing together, and it's just been, to work with Eric, our guitarist, has been something I wanted to do for a long time because he was roommates with our saxophone player,
so you knew
and we knew him, and he kind of would jam with my old band, the Miasmics, and it was kind of just, this kind of group that was sort of destined to play together at some point in some capacity, and we're doing it now, so it's exciting. The communication factor is something else, which is why if you look at our website, we have like 90% acoustic gigs, so like a lot of times Steph and I, because when someone calls me and says, can you play, I say, Steph and I can, and then that's okay, but at the bitter end, for example, we want the whole band to be there.
Right, which are going to be
gigs that we book more last minute, we always say like, well, Robbie and I can do it, we can do it as an acoustic performance, but to get the whole band together a week before shows is
special performances.
But we also have through Gmail, we have everyone's calendars up on the website.
Oh, that's handy.
Sort of sometimes works.
Right, when people actually look at them. Like today, for example, we were supposed to have Chris with us today.
Right, your bassist.
Our bassist. And it very clearly said that we were going to be here at 1 p.m.
Right.
And he called me last night. He said, oh man, I thought we were on at 11 there. I said, why? It doesn't say that anywhere.
A lot of people can identify with what you're talking about, so just so you don't, just so Chris doesn't feel that out there.
No, I'm sure he doesn't feel that.
Lots of bands go through the same things, but in your case, the idea of being able to do it at any level, the acoustic level, the stripped down, or the full sound, it really helps, I guess, not having to turn down the shows.
Yes, it's and we feel like as long as we're putting on a good performance, no matter what capacity we're giving it, and that's really what matters.
Absolutely. Now, what you were talking about, the fact that Robbie, you knew a lot of the musicians that you're playing with now. Stephanie, the first collaboration between the two of you and the current band right now with the Philth Harmonic came at a time where you had a pretty interesting experience, an inside look into what's become the reality game show world that so much of culture is still very much enthralled by these days, talking about American Idol. This is the first on G-Rock Rising. We haven't had any other musicians who had that taste of what's going on. A very scripted show. It's more Hollywood than it is music.
It's not scripted, but it's just, they have storylines that I think they like to follow, and they'll choose characters. I mean, people come onto the show and they bring their own stories. But I mean, I'm sure if I had, you know, had somebody close to me die the day before my audition or something,
or were
they would have, or if I was like abused as a child,
or worked in a meat factory like
if,
that
like,
girl. And,
yeah, like, I came from nothing. This is
yeah.
like my big shot of fame. Like,
Right.
you know, I would have been more of a focus on the show than being very average that I am.
Well,
except for as a vocalist.
Or as a vocalist, yeah, but
She's
it's
a
not
good
a vocal
vocalist,
competition.
which is not what they're looking
it's
for.
a TV show before it's anything else.
I mean,
so
the thing
you have
that's
to-
amazing to me is that American Idol, I don't think of it as a band competition. Obviously, you know, it's people going and with their singing abilities. But what you were saying to me before we started the G-Rock Rising taping, in the 3-4 minutes or so that you got on camera, you didn't even get to
You
showcase.
never ever heard me sing. No, it was like when they showed, I auditioned in Boston, and when they showed like my city auditioning, you know, they showed the majority of the acts were the ones that went through as
right.
the terrible.
The worst ones, they didn't show anybody that actually would have necessarily been able to.
They might have shown like, you know,
Yeah,
2 or
exactly.
3 that were actually legitimate vocalists that you might wind up voting for later on. They showed the ones that Simon Cowell abused.
Oh, jeez. So when you were done with the experience and you came back and you started what has now become the New Jersey Philth Harmonic, was there like any kind of mental or emotional response that you took away from that? As far as, I mean, since it was such an out of music type experience.
It really, if anything, I came back. Well, let me also just start by
She was
saying
amped when she came back.
Yeah.
Robbie
Really?
was in a ska band before, you know, we started working together, and I was a huge fan of theirs.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of their shows, and they were amazing, and I always loved Robbie as a drummer. So when I came back from Hollywood, I was just like, okay, I need a band right now. Not
to get to
not
do what
later.
you wanted to do when you went
Like
out.
I just spent a week in Hollywood singing and performing, and I don't want to ever not do that. So I need a band.
And
now.
she'd never had a band before.
And I never had a band, yeah. And I was always doing like competitions and like small things, karaoke contests kind of things, and that wasn't cutting it. I wanted to be doing my own music, and Robbie really brought that out of me because I never wrote before that. I didn't even know how to.
I forced her
He made me. He made
at
me.
knife point, and she does a great job now. Like we went from when we first started working
You
together.
should hear the
she
songs.
well, no, not even. She wouldn't give me any lyrics. I would be like, "Let's write a song." She'd be like, "I have a book of lyrics, but no one can read them." I'm like, "So you don't have a book
That's
of
a hard
lyrics?"
part of yourself to open up out.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't like tell anyone anything. So he was like, "You need to talk to me."
But yeah, and I said exactly, and I said, you know, if you have a book of lyrics that no one can see, you don't have a book of lyrics.
Right.
So
The tree falls.
exactly. So eventually she started warming up to it, and now
I had to make Robbie my best friend, is what I
You had to really get that attachment,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of bands go through. So fast forward to now, and you have Stephanie White and the New Jersey Philth Harmonic, and you guys obviously have a great working relationship as far as being able to really be open with each other, which is a key to making it last. And there's plenty of chances to go see the full Philth Harmonic experience if you go to the website. And right now, you'll be hearing the stripped down version talking about that versatility with G-Rock Rising.